Hey, what's going on, Mr. Duval?
Good afternoon, sir. How you doing, Mr. Tyrone?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. Can't complain. Glad to be
Yeah.
here. Glad to be in the number once again.
Once more. Didn't have to be that way, but
You're
I'm
right.
glad it
You're
is.
right.
I'm glad it
That's right.
is.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right. All right. So yeah, we here, and when it's me and you, we here to talk football. We talk officiating, and we're gonna talk about what everybody's buzzing about, which is that play at the end of that Falcons Kansas City Chiefs game, right up
That
there in
that
Atlanta.
play. That play.
Yeah, that play
Right.
up that way up in Atlanta. And so, yeah,
Eh,
we're gonna talk about it because that's what's buzzing right now. And
Yeah.
we'll break it down. Well, you'll break it down for us, and because you are the esteemed official that is here. And by the way, everybody, welcome to Make It Official on the 41 Sports World Network. And so get ready for this, man, because it's going to be a nice episode here of Making It Official. Make It Official with Stephen Duval. So, Duval, there's going to be a lot of people out here want to know did the officials get this play right? Did they get it wrong? So, on the other side, you're going to, reveal that answer.
Oh, you think? we're gonna we're gonna see anyway. All
Yes,
right.
sir. I can't
Okay.
wait. I can't wait.
Okay.
All right, we're back. Hey, Sunday night football was very, it was an exciting game. It was interesting, entertaining. I think that's back to back weeks now for the Atlanta Falcons on primetime television, if you will, Monday night and now the Sunday night game. And both games came down to the wire, and this one came down to a particular play, and it's the pass interference call. So we'll dive into that Mr. Duval. So, first of all, everybody, thank you for joining. Make sure that you go to YouTube and type in 411 Sports World Network. Make sure you do that. And if you already have done that, make sure you hit that like button to share, because sharing is caring. Make sure you hit that notification bell because you never know what show may pop up. So we had to come up and do this one in emergency format. And so Mr. Duval was available and willing to share his information here in a few minutes. So make sure you do that. Also, make sure you go to TikTok. Follow us on TikTok. Yes, we are on TikTok. There's the QR code, and then you also could type in Mr. 411. So either way, you'll find us there on TikTok. And the same thing on Instagram. Go to Instagram and then please type in Mr. 411. That's MisterFourOneOne. That's Mr. 411. And we are very grateful of everyone who is supporting us and those who will in the future. We're also going to drop a line out here in the comments. It's going to be an open line. So if anybody wants to join in, if they want to join in and ask a question, you'll be able to do that as well. And as you can see, there's the line being dropped. Also, we are on a simulcast with Surge Sports, aka Surge TV. So we thank Surge Sports and Surge TV for the simulcast and supporting the 41 Sports World Network. And also, big shout out to Nard with the Nard Report. I follow Nard every day on all his social media platforms. He gives us the up to date information on what's going on in the sports world. He also talks about hot topics, which I like. And Nard also joins our program. So we bounce things back and forth off one another and support each other in our spaces. The young man's doing great work. The Nard Report. Check him out on all social media platforms. All right, here we go. The big one, Mr. Duval.
Yes, sir.
Are you a Falcons fan?
Uh, I used to be.
Okay, okay. All right.
I mean, you know, this is my home state and all that, but I really haven't gotten. I never got over. Completely got over that Super Bowl loss, and so it. I when you say a fan, yeah, I like to see the Falcons do well, but my heart
Okay.
is not in it. I can't take it anymore. They pretty much tore my heart out and stomped it flat. With that Super Bowl loss. So
Oh
I
boy.
haven't been able to get over that. Now I've adopted another team. Well, actually, the team adopted me, Tyrone. You know
Oh,
my last name is Duval. And I was
yes.
sitting there one
Oh,
afternoon watching NFL and all of that. And then I had, nodded out and I was asleep and I wasn't bothering anybody. And the next thing I heard coming from the TV, Duval,
oh, okay.
Duval. I said, hey, they calling my name. I said, oh. So I'm a Jacksonville Jaguar fan now. That's my team.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
in fact, I'm gonna
Oh,
have to go down there and just hear my name called all day long. I got to go
that,
sit in the stands one time and just hear him go Duval all day long or all night long. I'm gonna try to do that. Yeah,
yeah,
but
absolutely.
I'll follow Jacksonville, and of course Jacksonville isn't doing too well right now. So my son is a New Orleans fan. My daughter and another son of mine, they're Atlanta Falcon fans. So
Oh.
it's not going too well for us right now.
Hey, Jacksonville. That's a nice place to go watch a football game, especially if it's not too hot.
Yeah,
But it's a
yeah,
cool place to hang out and be, and it's not too far, from the
yeah,
area. So, it's
exactly.
a nice little drive there. You got the ocean over there. You can do
That's right.
a one
Yeah,
day, cruise, casino cruise out there, something like that. Some
absolutely.
eateries.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's not bad. That's not
yeah.
bad.
But
Plus,
see,
they're an AFC
I don't
team.
have my heart entrenched in Jacksonville either, though, because I
Hmm.
can't, I can't take too much puncturing of the hearts anymore. When they get
Yeah.
stabbed in the heart, like it just hurts. It just hurts. So I'll
Oh,
follow them, but if they when they lose, it's okay. I'm gonna be okay. Uh, but that's my team right now,
okay.
official or unofficial, right?
Hey, we'll see what they do. I think they play tonight. Matter of fact, it's the Bills.
That's
So
right. I'm gonna be watching tonight. Yes, sir.
okay, good deal. All right, and also, you are a veteran official. Uh, one of the especially in this area, as far as what I know, you've always been a real official that people like, support. People think highly of you. You do multiple sports and you do them well. For those who may not know, Mr. Duval officiate, at the collegiate level, the high school level, did both at a high level, and does multiple sports at a high level. And so this is the type of person that we have on here today, that's going to help break this down for us. And so can't wait to get the details. So let's jump into the game. So the Atlanta Falcons, they fell short Sunday night, and at the end of that game, there was a pass interference, uh, no call, if you will. So, and there's you can see Pitts, the tight end, trying to catch the pass, and then you see the defender from the Chiefs. Now, in all transparency here, this is a steal shot. We will get the play up where you can see the majority of the play versus just that still shot. And then we're going to get Mr. Duval's take on it and see where it all lands there. So give us just a minute here to get everything up, and then we'll go from there. Mr. Duval, before I before I pull this and get the play running, you want to just kind of give a little bit of a background on pass interference?
Well, I mean, there's certain things that you're looking for in a pass interference. You're looking for restriction uh, by the defense or offense. Understand in pass interference, you can have offensive or defensive pass interference. Once that ball is in the air, players from either team have every right to try to catch that ball. So if I'm being restricted, I'm on defense and I'm being restricted by the offense, then that's interference. If I'm on offense and I'm being restricted in some sort of way and not allowed to get a decent attempt at catching that ball, then that's pass interference. on the defense. So I mean, it's vice versa. Once that ball is in the air, everybody can catch it. Anybody on either team can catch that ball and has a right to that ball once it's in the air. So just because it's thrown by the offense does not mean that a defender doesn't have a right to catch that ball or to have a chance to catch that ball. So that's when the interference comes into play. So oftentimes when you see those players running down the field and they're doing different things, they're jockeying for position. You might see one of them slap the other one's hand, and he slaps
Mhm.
his hand right back. And they're jockeying. That ball's in the air, and they're coming down. Once that ball is in that area, though, you can't stop him or restrict him in any way from trying to catch that ball, because now you're not trying to catch it. He's trying to catch it. And so if you interfere with him trying to catch it before that ball gets there, then we got problems. And all this is in live time, too. These are the best athletes in the whole wide world who are competing in the NFL. So make no mistake about it. What you're seeing on TV is nothing like what's going on that field as far as real time speed and everything else. I mean, that action is moving, and you're trying to move and get in position to see all of this stuff in live time. So no, it's nothing is slowing those players down for you in live time. Nothing is slowing that ball down for you, and nothing there is speeding your feet up to get there. You're having to act on your own abilities in order to get in position to see that play. And uh, once if you can imagine trying to take a picture
Mhm.
of someone, and you're running toward them or running away from them or whatever you're doing, you're jogging up and down, in fact, and that camera is moving, right? And you take that picture. Oftentimes, that picture that you see that you took, it's a fuzzy picture. So every photographer to take a picture, they're going to be as still as they possibly can. Well, as an official, oftentimes you don't have that luxury to just stop and be still and see. You have to be moving in order to see that play, and you have to have your eyes on it. And so all those things are happening in live time speed. And when you got world class athletes playing, uh, best believe that action is moving mighty, mighty, mighty fast.
All right. Okay, we definitely appreciate that piece of it. And again, this is off the NFL here, with pass interference. Let's see, Mr. Duval, are you able to see some of this here, where it's saying it is pass interference by either team when any act by a player more than 1 yard beyond the line of scrimmage significantly hinders an eligible player's opportunity to catch the ball. Pass interference can only occur when a forward pass is thrown from behind the line of scrimmage, regardless of whether the pass is legal or illegal. Uh, go from
Right,
there.
right.
All right.
Uh, and I'm glad they got you. You put this up here. It says that pass has to be beyond the line of scrimmage. Oftentimes, when they throw screen passes behind the line of scrimmage, man, people are mugged and everything else. Before that ball gets there, that's not pass interference, because that pass did not cross the line of scrimmage. So it has to be 1 yard beyond the line of scrimmage in order to be where you can even have pass interference in that situation.
Okay. And then defensive pass interference rules apply from the time the ball is thrown until the ball is touched. And then see Article 2, all that stuff. For prohibited acts while the ball is in the air. Offensive pass
Right,
interference rules that apply by the time the ball is snapped until the ball is touched. Um, for prohibited acts while the ball is in the air in Article 4 for prohibited acts prior to the pass.
right, right.
Okay. All right. And then there's that image again right here that a lot of people are complaining about. And now let's get the play up and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right. Do we need to run that back one more time, Mr. Duval?
If you want to, but you can run it all day long. It's a bang bang play, man. this
Okay.
this
Okay.
is a tough play because when you're looking at it in live time, it doesn't look like that ball is that far away. Now that still photo that you had, that ball looked like it's a mile away uh 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 from the receiver.
Okay.
But when you show it in right there, that's still play. That's at least a yard from his hands as he's making contact. But do you know how fast that bullet is coming from that quarterback in order to see all of that? And then you got a back judge. Uh, that's behind this guy, behind these guys,
Okay.
right? Then you
Hmm.
got a side judge and a field judge on either side. They're positioned. They're not in the end zone in front there. You know, they're pretty much positioned behind. Then you got your wing officials looking from the side. They're getting an angle from the side. This not have been, it might not have been their key person to look at once this play started. But uh once the play developed, they might have put another set of eyes on it. So you could very well have three, four sets of eyes on this particular pass. The person that's not watching it is the white hat, the referee, because his key on everything. He's got to stay with that quarterback. He can't take his eyes off the quarterback. So the referee can't help you on that. Now the umpire's in the backfield and he's watching for holding and that sort of thing. And the umpire in the NFL now, I don't know whether they position themselves in the end zone on these close plays, but most of the time they're in the backfield, in the offensive backfield now. When you used to have an umpire in here, but you can see there's a lot of action going on in that middle there, and that's why they pulled the umpire from in the middle there
Okay. Then
in
pull it
the
back up.
NFL in the first place. So I don't see
Okay.
any official, around there, and if in that general vicinity in front there, but you do have angles from the side that could possibly see that. But understand
So
that this is right here at the end of the game. You know, um, does it look uh, does it look as obvious in live time as it does on this picture? I don't think so. It was a
okay.
tough call. It was a tough bang bang call, and they
Okay.
decided to pass on that. And I don't think they reviewed it or anything like that. I don't think this particular call has review. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they could review it. So all this judgment is on those officials there, and what they ruled on that it wasn't pass interference. Now there's some upset fans about it or whatever,
Oh
and
yeah.
I can understand that. But plays like this at the end of the game, uh, as an official, you don't wish for these kind of plays at the end of the game. This play had happened in the this call had happened in the first quarter. You know, 5 minutes into the game, nobody probably would have been saying anything. You know, if this game had been a blowout, if the score had been 45-10 or something like that, nobody would be talking about this play. But because it was a close game and went down to the wire, uh, then that's why now, the referees' decisions are being brought into play, um, and uh, people think uh, that if anybody thinks that this was deliberate, then that's a whole nother conspiracy theory that you can take away from me because I don't buy that in the least bit. You know
Hmm.
that they deliberately didn't call this because it was the Kansas City Chiefs and the Chiefs have won so many. When you're in the middle of that action as an official, you all that stuff is not going on in your head. The only thing going on in your head at that particular time is getting this play right and trying to see it for what it is and to get it right. So
Okay.
for somebody to sit there and decide, okay, this is the time for me to interject a controversial call and take this away from a team because I don't like them. None of that stuff comes to play that I know of. So anytime anybody approaches me with these conspiracy theories that, the game was rigged and everything and all that kind of stuff, I just back away from that. And I don't have any discussion about that, because I've never been a party to anything like that, and I wouldn't participate in anything like that. And the guys that I officiate and the guys that I know in this application don't do it either. So let's just rule that out, right off the bat. That I'm not going to be a party to that. But it was a
Okay.
bang bang play, man. It was a bang bang play, and you get the bangers in there. You know.
Yes, sir. Okay, so here
Uh,
we go. So
yeah,
I wouldn't, the everyday fan probably doesn't think that this was a bang bang play. So from an
yeah,
official point of view, for you to say that it's bang bang, um, that is because you're literally right in the midst of all of that versus
yeah.
someone sitting at home watching it on the screen,
Right.
also getting the also having the opportunity to watch it in HD and sitting back on the couch or the chair somewhere and then get the replay,
Yeah.
and the slow motion replay. So
Right.
understanding that this goes a lot faster than what it appears, that's one thing. Now, what about for those who would say, well, the officials get paid to make these kind of calls and get these right. Um, and then there's X amount of officials on the field. Um, I think you hinted towards it earlier, but how could they miss it with and you can help me with this. At this point, there's probably the sideline judge, right? So if you look at the goal line area, I would guess, or somewhere, you can let us know where there should be an official on each sideline. And then you mentioned two back judges. So I'm taking that as there's two referees on the back of the end at the back of the end zone.
No, it's three. You got three back
Three,
there.
okay,
You got
and
a
three
back
back
judge who's
there.
in the middle. Then you got a side judge and a field judge is on either side there. And then
Okay,
you have your wing officials that are at the line of scrimmage, when this play happens. But
okay,
understand, when you line up, every everybody has keys to watch.
okay,
So pre-snap, before the ball is even snapped, you're looking at the people that you're supposed to be keying on at the
okay,
snap and pre-snap. Now, as a wing official or the person that's on a head linesman or a line judge that's at the line of scrimmage, first of all, he's keying on that tackle. He's watching those tackles and that sort of thing. The
okay.
umpire uh, is watching God, center God. Those are his keys there. Now,
Okay, and
as a wing,
real quick, tackles are the linemen, right? And
yeah,
it's the
they're
center
linemen.
and the two outside the center, right
That's
beside
right.
the centers.
Right.
Okay,
So
all
you
right,
got
and then the
this is pre-snap. You're looking at all of this because you got to see what
okay,
they're going to do. Now,
okay,
as a wing official, you also have one of those receivers. The
mm,
outside receiver is going to be taken by the back guy, right? But you got another receiver on the inside. Depending on the formation or whatever, you might have one or two other people that you have to key on also to see what they're doing. And so all this is happening, when the ball is snapped. You're watching
okay,
your keys to see what your people are going to do. Well, the receiver I'm supposed to be watching, where did he go? Did he go and do a
okay,
down and out? Or did he go down and then he went deep? And all of a sudden now you go into what we call zone coverage. Because if a
okay,
guy comes out of my area and leaves my area, now the back, now the deep guy's got to pick him up. And he's hustling down the field, trying not to get beat. He's got to get to the goal line. All these things are happening in, in fast time and all of that. So uh, uh, understand that even though it's seven referees out there, the seven referees didn't have their eyes. They're not watching the ball. They're not watching, this particular person, that particular person. They're watching their keys. So if on the other side you had two receivers over there who were going out for passes and stuff, this guy on the side, he's watching his guy to see if he gets in the field or see if he's held and stuff. Because even if the pass doesn't come to you, even before the pass is thrown, if there has been restriction, you got defensive holding. If the pass ain't in the air, And let's say the quarterback gets sacked or whatever, and you got defensive holding. Well, he was trying to throw the ball, but you was holding the receiver, so he couldn't get the pass off. Well, the pass wasn't in the air, so you can't call pass interference because it never got in the air. But you still had defensive holding restriction and all that. So all these things are going on, and these are people that you're trying to watch. You got to
Hmm.
watch your guy, because if your guy gets mugged and the film shows your guy getting mugged, and you didn't see your guy get, but then what were you watching?
Right.
Were you watching your area? Were you watching the person you should have been watching? If number 75 is the tackle on my side, and he's been holding all day long, and they're complaining that 75 is holding, well, that's my guy. I should be watching him. I need to be seeing that he's holding. See, so uh, as these people are, as you pick up your keys and understand, these guys that are refereeing in the NFL, they twice or three times as good as I've ever been. So here I'm not trying to pass judgment on them, but I'm just telling you the fact of the matter is these are the best officials in the world, and they know what they're doing. They study this stuff day in and day out, and all of that. And even with all of that, sometimes they miss a call. But how many plays were in that game that they got right? You got 175 plays that happened or whatever, you know. And they might not have gotten this one quite right to your liking as a fan. Well, they should have gotten all of them right. That's what you're getting paid to do. Well, that's true. I took that test in math some years ago. I was supposed to make 100 on it, but I got 75. So you know, this is real life, and I don't care how many replays they do or how many replay situations they do and everything else. When you have a human element, errors are going to be made in some sort of way or whatever. Now, what you're trying to do is eliminate as many of them as possible. But when a human element is involved in sports like it is, there are going to be mistakes made. And I'm not saying, that if I had been in this game, I might have made the same call that that guy made. And
Hmm.
and 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 after that, I'd be reviewed and everything else. Because all these calls have been graded. Every call they made in that game has been graded. Now,
Okay.
I'd like to see the, what those officials got graded. The official, what was his grade on that particular call? I don't know. But at the end of the day, there were 100 and some plays, and those passes that were dropped when the receiver was wide open, or when you had a receiver downfield in the end zone, and the quarterback didn't see him and he didn't throw the ball to him. All those plays that could have happened that didn't happen, and could have won that game
Yeah.
for you. And it gets down to this one. Well, uh, at the end of the day, I you know, uh, I mean, it
Hey,
is what it
it all
is.
washes itself out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And at the same time, like you say, um, what about the ones that were right and how many plays throughout the game that either team made mistakes, you know what I'm saying, interceptions,
Yeah,
fumbles, misreads, all kind of things. It all
yeah,
adds up when the
yeah,
totality of the wins and losses. There's some games that you're gonna win and it's gonna break your way, and there's no games that you're gonna lose and the breaks didn't go your way.
right.
So for it to be that, right, you just gave some great insight as to your opinion on the officials. Like, hey, they didn't miss it on purpose because they're gonna go back. A lot of people are gonna go back to the Kansas City Cincinnati game, right, and they're going to take a look at that and say, hey, look, Kansas City was the beneficiary of a pass interference call last week. I think it was last week, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then this week, it went the opposite way in their
right,
favor, where the call
right.
wasn't made. So it was made last week, and then it wasn't
Yeah,
made this week. And
yeah,
we're just gonna put up both images, and then we'll go from there. So as you can see here,
yeah,
that's the one there last, and then here's the one this week.
right. Similar plays too, man. Similar situations and all. Probably two different crews, not the same officials making the calls and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we got two judgment calls. One that was rude pass interference. I'd like to see what kind of grade they got on that call in that Cincinnati game.
Hmm.
Or was it decided that was a good call, correct call, or incorrect call, or you should have passed on it or whatever? I don't know. Uh, I just know those guys under a lot of scrutiny, you know. Um,
Yeah.
uh, and just and when I look at it in my perspective and stuff like that, and I'm not going to tell you what game it is or what happened and everything like that, but I was refereeing a game this year, and I missed a holding call. Uh, that was, was in my ear. I went back and looked at the film, and I thought it was a hold, but I didn't see the whole play or whatever. It was a holding call. Guy clearly held the guy. Problem was the team scored a touchdown on the play.
Yeah.
And you just preference all of what I just said. You said I was a pretty good official, Tyrone.
And you still are.
You said that. I didn't say it. You said that. So uh, I'm not going to sit here, and pass judgment and say, that I'm perfect. I've always made perfect calls and everything else.
Yeah.
Uh, the deal is I've had to live with the calls I made, and any official that's worth a grain of salt does not remember all those correct calls that they made.
Yeah.
That incorrect call, those incorrect calls that you made and stuff, sometimes they haunt you and
They
they
do.
keep you
They
up.
stick with you.
They stick with you,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. They stick with
And you remember it. You remember one from 5 years ago that
you.
you
Hmm.
made. How did I make that call? How could I do that? Boom, boom, boom. But
Yeah.
the thing about it is you had guts enough to go right back out there and try to do it again. You see,
Yeah. You got to
and
be a defensive back. You got to be a defensive back if you're a referee. Because you're going to get burned, and then
yeah,
you gotta stick with it. And
stick with it.
and those who don't, I mean, they no longer do it. And that's okay.
Tyrone, I
But you
wish they
definitely
would
have.
let us. I wish they would let us celebrate. Like they let the players celebrate now and do all that kind of stuff. Man, when I make a good call like that, I want to be able to go over to my partner and jump up in there and chest bump him because that was the correct call I made. You know, and if I was to do something like that, man, I'd get run out of the profession. Because
Yeah.
who cares? Who cares that you
Hmm.
made a right call, except
Yeah.
you? You see what I'm saying? It is the
Yeah.
best. The best situation I'm in, man. When I leave that ball game, is that nobody recognized me, and
Right.
they didn't
You know
see
you
me
was
out
there.
there and running up and down. They didn't even know I was there, and that's
Yeah.
the best compliment any official can get is that I didn't know you were there.
That's
And
right.
you did your job, but I didn't see anything that was egregious and stuff like that. That caused me to look at you. See, because the game ain't about us. The game is about the athletes and that sort of thing. And we're there, just to oversee it, and be representatives of the sport in order that a fair game can be played. And that's we are the keepers of the integrity of the game, and that's pretty much it. But ain't nobody
Yeah.
giving out
Yeah.
attaboys for those great calls that we made. I ain't getting a pat on the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
They're not putting me on
Absolutely.
Sports Center. Look at that wonderful call that Steve made last. I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good no call on that. Good way not to call
Great
hold
no
on that one
call.
though,
It was
man.
a great no.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That's not
somebody's
happening
got
no
to
time
do it.
soon.
Somebody's got to do it, and that would be us. You know. Yeah.
And
And
you know what? And another good sign of a good official or an official that people should appreciate, coaches, players, uh, fellow officials, fans, is the officials that, they don't mind looking at film. They don't mind going back,
right.
seeing what they could improve on, looking at
Yep.
plays that they got right, looking at plays that got wrong, because all those
Right.
plays can teach you something else for the next game.
That's correct.
You know what I mean? So,
That's
and,
correct.
I'll let this secret out. I have probably over 1,000 hours worth of games, right here on this drive right here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I got,
Yep.
this one drive. I bought this thing, paid about $50 for it, but I got years worth of games on this alone, just on here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and it's like that's what we do.
Yep.
That really is not seen a lot. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But
Right.
this is part of what we do. And even like this, we're officials, and we're talking about a play that's on national TV that that even we may think is not correct, but it's not to put anyone down
No,
or anything like that. It's more of a teachable thing because I love what you
absolutely.
mentioned about the speed of the game. That's a bang bang play. NFL, the fastest game out there when you're talking football, and it's gonna look a lot different when you're in real time versus watching on TV. Believe it or not. So that was a great point. Um, you do believe that that was a missed call, correct? That's I don't want to misquote you, but you think that was pass interference
If I mean,
officially?
looking at it now,
Yeah,
uh, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what
It
we
could have
basing
been
it off.
called. It could have been called pass interference.
Playing Monday
I
morning
say that there
quarterback and
was
all that
enough
stuff.
evidence there for it to be pass interference. You know,
Okay,
uh, because
and
it met the criterion. It met that criteria of pass interference.
yes,
Make
sir.
no mistake about it. But whether
Right,
they
and
saw
that's
that,
what.
yeah,
Mhm. And that's what we
yeah,
want people to understand is that there is criteria. We
yeah,
broke that part down, and then you could take that information, and then when you're talking with your fellow sports fans and criteria, let's look at this
right,
play now, and then we can say, hey, man, what the refs did on that one. So
right.
then there, and then the other piece of information, uh, which officials on this play, you did you think should have made the call, and was their view obstructed maybe on that play?
Okay. You mind putting it back up there? I
Oh,
think
sure.
so. Yeah,
Okay.
let's take a look because I want to see where he's coming from,
Okay.
where the receiver's coming from on the play.
Okay. We'll definitely
If
do
if
that.
you can just if you can just line it up.
Okay. Let's see if we can do it. And I may have an additional version coming up too that can help us too. But I'll put this first one back up and then we'll get the next version up.
Okay, is okay. So the tight end, he's the tight end, right? He came from the inside, right?
Okay.
So uh pretty much the key the guy the back judge in the middle back there, 1, 2, 3. That was probably the third receiver in. So that was probably his key. He was watching this guy pretty much all the way from behind, right? Because
Right.
he's in here. You got receivers on the other side of him, right? If there's another receiver out here, um, see, yeah, you see those other two receivers? He's the third
Yes.
receiver in, right? So in a 7-man crew, uh, he would probably have that tight end, the guy back here, that guy right there would have him as a key. But you get once that ball leaves your area and it's not on your receiver. See now, hold on. Uh, he came from there. I'm just trying to see what those are. Hold it, stop right there. Stop. Can you stop it? Yeah. See these two receivers over there? You got three receivers on that side. So you got trips.
Right.
Okay, so
Right.
if it's three guys over here, if it's three guys over here, then this outside official is not looking at this guy from the outset. See?
Right.
So he's
Right.
got one of these other two guys. And the call came. See, when that ball came in there, it's really it's hard for the back judge to see where that ball was in front of that because he was blocked out by the defenders and stuff, you know. And those guys who were keying on those other at that, as quick as that play was that ball could have been thrown to either one of these guys. I'm not taking my eyes off my guy over here yet, you know, until that ball, is well, I'm not seeing the beginning of all of that stuff. So you possibly only had maybe one set of eyes, and that was the guy behind this guy on that. You know, uh, it's just tough. It's a tough call.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah. And the more you break this down, the more it makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Uh, as an official altogether, it makes more sense to me now. And especially me being a
Mm-hmm.
basketball official versus a football official, you know, I'm looking at it from I'm trying to look at it from your lens, from the football side of things. And And ultimately, from the officiating side of things, I can understand it too. Where when you're talking about how it's faster than it looks, because when you're on a
Yeah.
basketball court, you know this, those plays happen. Man, it's you can't even snap your finger, and that's how
Flying,
fast
man.
you have to make a
Guys are flying,
decision on
man.
these plays.
Yeah.
It's not as simple
Exactly.
as it looks, or
Yeah.
how some people
Yeah.
make it look. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's
Right.
it's
Right.
tough. It's difficult
Yeah.
to
So
do this.
so you know, I'm just saying it's not as it's not nearly as obvious a call as it is when you run it down in slow motion and you do it in still time and all of that. And you can break it down phase by phase by phase. That guy looking at that from behind there, that ball came in there so quick and that receiver was coming and he was there. You know, it just that it was a trust me, it was a bang bang play, you know. And yeah. Uh, I could have very easily called the same thing on that play, being in the position that he was in, and not being able to get help from other guys because those guys they had uh, uh, they had defenders on them too. See,
Right,
if you got a receiver that doesn't have any defender on him, if that's your guy, ain't got to watch him because
right,
ain't nobody do nothing to him. Ain't nobody there. So if your guy, even though that's your key, let's say the guy that's the back, this back right here, if that's your key, but if ain't nobody on him, you know, ain't no sense in watching him
right.
because nobody's there. See, but both of these guys, both of these
That
receivers over here had defenders
right down at the bottom. Yep,
down at the bottom. Yeah.
yep.
So it was hard for those other officials to take their eyes off the guys that they were watching to watch this guy where that ball came. And that's just how quick it was coming. See, so uh, that's his call back there. The guy you see
Ooh-wee.
behind that action, that was his call. You know,
Okay, so what should that have defender who wrapped right there, the one that's wrapping up hits?
yeah,
What could he have clearly done to make it no doubt that it's not pass interference?
getting there a second sooner than that. Or what could he have done
Okay.
to make it
How about
not
one
be
more
pass
thing?
interference? Oh, he could have held
What
up his
about one more
arm.
thing? Could he, sometimes I see where they say,
Yeah,
hey, you got to turn your head. I mean, could he have turned
right.
his head back
Okay,
too?
but like I say, man, that ball, he got there a split second before that ball. A
Wow.
split
Okay.
second. Think about it.
Okay.
That ain't but a split second, man.
Right.
So
Ooh, yeah. And this
that's
is
a
and this
tough.
is a
That's
replay,
a tough
and it's
play,
still
man.
fast.
That's it's tough. It's
Yeah.
tough. You know, and
Wow. Man,
and
that's
I
a
could
play
see.
there.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good one to see and stuff like that. Um, but it's a tough call. It's bang bang.
Yes,
That's a
sir.
bang bang. You know, and maybe plays like that, plays like that, make them go back and rethink. Should we now have film review on this kind of play?
Bang.
See,
Right on my next
because two
question.
years ago, 2 years ago, there were plays that wasn't reviewed that are being reviewed now. You see, so the
Yes,
thing is
sir.
changing all the time. You know,
Yes,
and
sir.
so who is to say that next year that play can be reviewed and they can look at that play from all different kinds of angles and they can change that to pass interference. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, uh,
I think 31 other teams should vote for pass interference being reviewed.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, you know,
So
and
yeah,
and possibly
I
that.
think they should implement pass interference as a reviewable play. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
why not? I mean, the technology's there.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
NFL could definitely set the
Well, they're gonna
standard by
say that
doing
the
that.
technology is there not to have any live officials on the field. They could say they got enough technology now to where they could just officiate the games without live officials. Uh,
Uh-oh.
yeah, so that's talking about removing us from jobs and stuff. So I
Hey,
mean, at the end of the day, that's possible. Though. It's with all this technology that you got out here. Of course, it's possible.
hey,
But who
look.
is to say it ain't possible? They can come up with some some sort of players and stuff, they can invent something that's going to be more powerful and better than the players. So you don't have to pay them either. So,
Yeah.
things are
It's,
changing, man.
oh yeah. Ever changing
Yeah,
time. Used to be a
that's right.
song back in the day about that. And
That's right.
yes, sir. But yes, so glad to have you on
Yeah,
again,
man.
Mr. Duval.
Yeah,
Great detail, great information on that, and definitely appreciate that. Uh,
yeah.
let's get a question in from someone who's viewing this episode. Okay, we'll
Okay,
bring
good.
on Nard from the Nard Report.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you check him out. Make sure that you follow him on all social media platforms. Nard, welcome to the
What's
Make It
up?
Official.
What's up? Thank
You're
you.
on
Thank you.
with
Thank you.
Yes, sir, and you're on with myself and Mr. Stephen Duval, veteran official. And is there anything that you want to ask Mr. Duval?
Yes, sir. Question: what are your biggest takeaways from the game last night?
Biggest takeaway from the game?
Yes, sir.
Great ball game, man. It's great, hard hitting ball game. I mean, they were playing. They played. They came to play. A lot of excitement. Situation like that. I personally, I don't like blowouts, man. I don't like games. I like tight ball games. I like to officiate tight ball games. I don't like blowout. A blowout game is the worst game in the world to officiate because all kind of stuff is going on in situations like that. One team pretty much, and it's not necessarily in the NFL, but in other levels of football, and once you get a blowout, one team has decided, we're not going to win the game, so we're going to win the fight. So now you're going to have cheap shots, uh, uh, dirty play, things like that you got to police. Your head has to be on the swivel all night long. When you got a tight ball game like this, all you got to concentrate on is the game itself because they're going to do what they're supposed to do. And these are the best players in the world. So I love ball games like that because it's exciting all the way. One play could have decided, one play either way could have decided this ball game all night long. And the teams have nothing to be ashamed about. They came to play, and it was just unfortunate one team had to lose. But that's pretty much my take on it. How about you? What you think about it?
Overall, coming from a Falcons fan, it was a very good game. The Falcons put up a very hard fight against the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs.
Right.
Mahomes played a good game as usual. Kirk Cousins, he played a good game. The defense, I love our defense. Our defense is going to find ways to get stopped. And the offense, I know our two offensive linemen are hurt, but the lineman wasn't too bad overall.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Now you're a Falcon fan. Monday. What do you call it? Monday morning quarterbacking. Uh, did you say they should have kicked the field goals instead of go for it? They'd kick those two
Yeah,
field goals, then we wouldn't be having this conversation necessarily about that about that particular call at the end of the game. Because
yeah.
now the score would have been different. And the Falcons, if they had kicked those field goals, coulda, shoulda, woulda, oftentimes Monday morning quarterbacking, decisions that the coaches made at particular times. Well, it didn't work. So now we need to, we should have gone a different way. What's your take on that?
Well, to me, to go for it on 4th and 5 with like 4 minutes and 5 seconds left, I feel like we should have took the field goal. So even though we didn't have enough to get the first down to wind down the clock, we would have took that field goal and we would have got the lead with like 50 or 40 some seconds left, and then rely on our defense to get a stop, which our defense has been doing a great job all night. I feel like we should have just took the three at that moment.
Right. I hear you. Okay. Yeah.
How about you?
Oh, I mean, I see. I didn't have a dog in the fight, so so that's why I was asking you, as you being a
Oh,
fan, Falcon fan and everything. What did you think about it? But I just saw a great ball game, man. Uh, Great ball game.
Yeah, it was a very good game. I do question a couple of Falcon fans that I did speak to, especially Antoine. Shout out to Antoine out there. but he was really he just thought the coach didn't believe in the Falcons defense, and
Right.
for making that decision. And the more I think about it, I'm like, well, they have two of the best safeties in the game. Uh, so it was just kind of a question there for me on decision, not to kick it. I think that would have kept the appropriate pressure on the Chiefs, and they would have been. I think they would have been in a better position at the end.
Yeah.
But overall, a good game, and the Falcons have been tough. That is my son's team. He liked the Falcons, so I'm a Seahawk fan. So we got something to deal in a couple weeks. We're gonna have a game that we gotta have our debates about. But yeah, the Falcons, so far, they're very competitive. You know what I mean? All three
Absolutely.
games they've been in it.
That's
Two
right.
out of three, they fell short. Now, unfortunately, two out of the three games have been. I mean, two of their losses have been at home, and you only get like 6, 8 home games somewhere in there. So,
Yeah.
it's time for Falcons to defend that home field, minus the game when Seattle comes to town. So Atlanta needs to, at least get 5 home wins this
Yeah.
year, I think. With
Yeah.
the Saints surprising us right now, doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, check out Nard though on YouTube.
Okay. The
Yep,
Nard
check.
Report. Yes,
Yep,
sir.
the Nard Report. Make sure we check him out on YouTube and all social media platforms that you are on. Anyone's out here, everyone who's watching tonight, make sure you do follow Nard. All you have to do is punch in the Nard Report, and you will find him. Instagram. I know I'm following him on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah.
But Nard, are you on any other platforms?
No, sir. That's just it.
Okay, so he's on the big 3. So make sure you follow him on those 3 right there, and you'll get great quick hitters and things like that. I really enjoy watching those. I really enjoyed your previews in the preseason too. Like as you was giving your season predictions on various teams, and you was asking people to submit their team that they want covered. So yeah, keep following Nard. You're doing great work, man. We're proud of you, Nard. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Mr.
And I'm
Duval, go ahead, Nard.
one more thing. I go live every Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. on YouTube.
Okay.
7 p.m. Okay.
7
Tuesday
p.m.
nights.
All right, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. I hit my notification bell on your page, and so it pops up in my phone, so I'm ready. Definitely appreciate it. Appreciate what you're doing out there, Nard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. And Mr. Duval, appreciate you
Yes,
being
sir.
on board again
All
to
right.
tackle this play, and we'll have more plays to cover as the as the weeks go on. Just like we said last week, there's probably gonna be something that's gonna spark us for this week, and there's gonna be some more plays tonight with a doubleheader in the NFL,
Oh
and
yeah.
and then
Oh,
you're
yeah.
gonna have some more college football this weekend, and then the NFL again. So we'll circle back again if you all don't mind.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Well, for Nard, for Mr. Duval, and for Mr. 411, we thank you, and we will catch you next week.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.